Hello, and we are live. And if you're not watching this live, you're probably watching this at a later date, which means we are also pre-recorded and on your screens. Today, I have a little cap on because my hair is all over the place and I haven't had time to condition it. So I apologize in advance. Somehow, that's not the least of the most horrific things that we've seen this weekend because, oh my goodness, did we have a weekend of football to talk to you about? Akshay,
Do we really want to talk about it, or just
I
like
mean,
skip ahead through everything and just forget about it?
yeah, we could do that. We could do that, but unfortunately for us, the
Yeah,
end of the line is this week's episode's title, and we also have a big blooming picture of the issue at hand as our thumbnail. So I guess we have to talk about it. But before that, a little
yeah, that is
housekeeping.
true.
We do this Mondays and Thursdays. We do it live. You can watch this back whenever on your leisure, as per your leisure. It's available on YouTube. I'm sorry about the pod because it's been so difficult trying to get all the four of us in a room or rather in one virtual Zoom space for so long now because we've all had changes to our lives in some way or the other. Barring Akshay, Akshay is now the most settled person that I currently know, which is amazing. Congrats, my friend.
Thank
So
you.
he has like his priorities. He's social and he's also like he's obviously extremely professional, and then he's a part-time influencer in the evening. I guess I don't even know. Uh,
Yeah,
Anyway, welcome to the episode, and I guess there's only one place for us to talk about this, and as you can tell, my defense mechanism for dealing with situations like this is cracking really bad jokes, and which is what I have been attempting to do for the last 2.5 minutes. But I think it's time we got into the meat and potatoes of
yeah,
exactly what happened over the weekend. The other results are irrelevant. I don't care that Chelsea smashed Norwich 7-0. I don't care. Spurs have lost another derby. I think they've lost four derbies in 3 months. I don't particularly give two hoots about how City just steamrolled Brighton. It's good for my FPL because Phil Foden got two assists and two goals and an assist, and then but made little to no. Like
yeah.
it's not really like something that would help uplift my spirits given the weekend what we've just witnessed. So Akshay, did you watch this game? Did you watch it to its completion? Because I did not.
Even I couldn't really watch the entire game with full concentration because, as we all know, the India-Pakistan World Cup game was on at the same time,
Oh yeah, I completely
and
forgot about that. Let's get into
and
that as well. Okay.
and at home that was on the big screen, so I was just watching it on my phone, the United and the Liverpool game, and in
Mm-hmm.
between there was some function going on in the house at the same time, so we were in and out of that as well. um, but yeah, it was, I think I should stopped watching it after the first half, to be honest.
Mm-hmm.
I knew that it's game over, and I didn't want to, put myself through more than what we had already been through in the first half. But yeah, it was quite horrifying to see how pathetic we were. Um,
Uh,
I, I don't even know like what to say about how the performance was because that's how bad we were.
so I guess this is
Yeah,
I so much like you. I decided to watch. I mean, I stopped watching this game
yeah.
after 45 minutes because um I'll tell you why. I mean, not because I hate United or anything. It's just that uh, one, I had a very long Saturday night, which initially started off
Hmm.
as casual. Look, we went to this new place. Very interesting evening. I had a lot of fun. Came back and we realized by the time we got back, it was very late. Like it was late, and then we were sitting and having a conversation, just a very in-depth conversation about life. Hey, Shreyas, he's always a one person.
No.
Yeah, I'm getting to
Yeah,
it, Shreyas. I'm just talking to
we're
him
getting
about
to this.
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm getting to my build up about
yeah,
how we have like what happened with the game. So I get back home. We're having this really in-depth conversation about life, what it means, where we are in our lives, and the whole 3 a.m., 4 a.m. nonsense. I look at my watch, and it's 5:30, and I'm like,
wow.
oh, I have to go to
Mm,
bed because at 9 a.m. I have to record an episode for another podcast I'm a part of, and I have to be up by then. Then it becomes extremely clear I am not going to make uh, that 9 a.m. deadline. So I reach out to a friend who's currently in India, and he says, "Yeah, let's do it." So we at 5:30 a.m. I sit down to record a full-fledged podcast, and that goes on
Oh
for an
wow.
hour and 40 minutes. And so by the time I'm done, it's about 7:10, and I'm like, okay, now I will go sleep. And I have a thing before I sleep. I usually take a shower and then go to sleep. And so I did that and then put myself to bed, and I had my cousin visiting. So and I said, listen, I'm probably not going to wake up. Just show up and you'll find me here. And right on cue at 11:25, in comes cousin, and he's like, game's about to start. Let's go. So I wake up, brush my teeth, sit down, and in the first 10 minutes, we're 1-0 down, and you could see. And I think Bruno
Yeah.
gets so the thing is Bruno gets this massive chance, and then he skies it in true Bruno fashion, and then Liverpool don't even like press us. They absolutely cut through us like a hot knife through butter. One of my favorite analogies. If you're playing Who Scored Again Bingo, uh, tick that off the box. They absolutely cut through United's defense, and is it? I don't even know who scored the first goal. Was it Keita?
Kita.
Keita
Kita.
scores the
Kita.
first one. Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. Keita scores the first goal, and United. Oh my God! How are you making conceding the same goal over
Every
and
single
over
time.
again, like
Yeah.
you've done? This is not the first time. This is the exact same goal you've conceded against Newcastle, against Leicester, against Atlanta, and let's not
This
forget
is
this was
this is
this.
that this is that one stupid goal multiplied into, 3 times or 4 times, 5 times, n number of times that I
Yeah,
keep talking about and that we score
yeah.
and
It's just
concede.
it's always
Yeah.
they shift the ball out to the right. Maguire pulls
Hmm.
close. Maguire and Shaw both pull close to. I mean, move over to the right, opens up an entire space. Opens up an entire space on the left hand side. Then the
Yeah.
opposition players switch the play over. The right back is bombing forward, cuts it back. Maguire beat Maguire, McTominay, Lindelof, whoever it is.
No,
Let's go off
nobody.
their man, front post in the back of the
Mm.
net. The same bloody goal. And it's at some point you're like, okay, listen, clearly these guys must be getting coaching instructions because we are getting
Yeah. Yeah.
absolutely massacred on the counter here. United are, at least what I believe when Solskjaer came through, was a counter-attacking football team. And that
Mm.
has now since been like, and now they've kind of moved away to making them a more possession-based football side. It's not working because
Which doesn't
one,
work. Yeah.
yeah, no,
Yeah.
because as much as you have Fred and McTominay supposed to screen the defense, and I think it worked last year, but this year they figured out the flaws in McTominay and Fred's game. Fred is not an extremely, I wouldn't say a world-class passer of the ball, but he progresses the ball up the field.
Mm.
But you can press him and get the ball off of him.
Yeah.
McTominay plays safe passes. Very rarely does he go for anything special, or very rarely does he.
Correct. Correct.
Yeah, so and I think the opposition teams, usually this always happens like when and this will happen to Brentford next year when they find a flaw in the system, and they'll expose it. And that's exactly what's happening to United now. It happened to Spurs, it's happened to City when City lost the title.
Mm.
You figure out that one flaw, and that usually takes a season to understand where and how to hurt a team. And every manager in the league has figured out how to play United. It's very
Yeah.
simple. Press them high up the pitch, and if that doesn't work, let them have the ball, go back into a low block, hit them on the counter because they are in
Hit them on the
complete
counter.
disarray
Exactly.
when it
Exactly.
comes to defending anything.
Yeah.
So at the end of that first half, I was like, oh, so the second goal, which is a Maguire and Shaw clusterfuck,
Oh man. Oh
I'm
man.
just like,
That was
okay, at that point,
bonkers.
you've checked out because Liverpool haven't even been good. They haven't gotten out of second gear. This just they're just pushing, and United are just pushing and helplessly. And now there are reports coming out that there are growing tensions between Greenwood and Ronaldo, and this was pretty apparent for all of us
Mm.
because the moment
Yeah.
Ronaldo showed up,
Apparently.
Greenwood has started just shooting from anywhere and everywhere.
And only
And
one out of the n number of shots that he takes goes in.
yeah, and now I'm like,
But
Mason, I get it.
that doesn't help. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't help, and I know we want to play to Ronaldo's strengths. I understand that fitting him into
Yeah.
the squad was a last minute decision. He was not in the plans, and United have to like completely
Somehow.
revamp their
Yeah.
entire what do you call playing style to accommodate him. but they the defense is not capable of matching. I don't think Maguire is fit enough. Either he's fit enough or he's not fit, or he just doesn't. He can't play out from the back. At this point, I look at him, and I watched this on Housen's highlight, and Housen pointed out this where he said Maguire usually, so the ball goes out to De Gea, goes so
Mm.
De Gea to Maguire, Maguire to Shaw. Shaw attempts to go back to Rashford, but if Rashford gets pressed, it comes back to
It
Shaw on the
comes back.
byline, and
Yeah,
Shaw pushes it to, and the safest route is to go back to
back to
De Gea, who goes long,
right.
and then the
Mm-hmm.
opposition get the ball, recycle possession, and attack again.
Yeah.
Now, I found this to be completely like it's 3 years, and 3 years this is the same problem that's been occurring on a repeated basis, and it baffles my mind as to how it has not been coached out of them yet. Do you need two ball playing defenders? Because in my opinion, Maguire is a ball playing defender, so is Varane, so is Lindelof. Eric Bailly, maybe not so much, but he's more blood
Yeah.
and thunder if anything. So that first half was just it it really scared me as to how United can't progress the ball out from the back. Like for me, anyone who knows me and anyone knows what kind of football I like, I love possession-based football. Which makes the fact that Guardiola hangs around City all the more painful.
Mm-hmm.
I love possession-based football. If you've seen me play football, if I play possession-based football. If you see me play
When have
FIFA,
you played
uh,
again?
not
When
that
have you
you know.
played football, Alan?
I won't. It's very bad. I have very bad
Yeah,
close control. But anyway,
it is.
they're like
Yeah.
I've been yelled at
But
for
even
like
but even on FIFA, right? Yeah.
mm, for FIFA. It's like if you see me play FIFA, it's just very much
Yeah.
like
But I think
take your
Maguire's
jaga
just not
football.
been who he is after his injury. I don't think he's fully recovered. And I think at this point, I would totally imagine and hopefully see Lindelof and Bali as the two starting centre backs for at least a game or two, just to see how they progress, and if that helps the team, may as well start with them, right?
So I think we spoke about this on the preview, and I think you and I spoke about how you could entertain the possibility of a back three, and if you
Yeah.
went with the back three, there would be some sort of defensive solidarity. And I think the time has now come to switch to a back
Mm.
three. Like you coach that system, because what it does is it provides. Um, you have three center backs. I don't know where Varane is. I don't know. I think he's out for a couple more weeks
Yeah, I
anyway.
think yeah, I think a few more weeks he's out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if he doesn't show up but like either push Luke Shaw into a back three, because anyway he's
Yeah, I
so
think.
touch tied to the center backs. Bring in
Hmm.
Teles, um, put in I put in a system where you have someone who recycles the ball, and this is what really worries me about the Van de Beek situation. That is a man who will keep possession ticking,
Yeah,
and
correct,
like
correct.
yeah, so it's just
He's a
keep the ball.
one-touch player, right?
Yeah, one touch player. Maybe he's not extraordinary at moving the ball up the pitch, but every time he's played, his one touch passing usually unsettles defenses because they tend to go in different directions. They're like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah. They don't know
Um, yeah, so
which
it's like,
direction he's gonna go.
and
What?
you recycle play,
Hmm.
you create a pattern of play, 20 passes here, quick here and there.
Yeah, yeah.
Settle down. United do not settle down, and the more this happens, the more frenzy they become, and eventually it becomes full panic stations. Like look at Bruno. Bruno just attempts long balls to Rashford. Like yesterday, the long ball to Rashford was not on because Liverpool
It
had
wasn't. It
prepared for
wasn't.
it.
Yeah, it wasn't happening at all.
It wasn't happening. Now,
Yeah,
I Ronaldo scored a goal in the second half. Apparently, it was offside. I have
it
not
was
seen it
offside.
because
Yeah, I saw the
I.
highlights, but
Mm,
it was a beautiful goal. But
mm.
unfortunately, it got ruled offside.
What happened? Like, could you describe it to me?
He basically, I don't remember exactly who passed the ball to him, but he sort of cut back and then curled it around the defender into the bottom corner.
Something I feel.
And I could see the emotion in him that he scored against Liverpool, and then a moment later it just gets called offside by VAR, and it was basically just a fraction off, not even like a huge like this much. It was just like one fingertip away, or like a nail away.
Mhm.
You know, it was. But yeah,
But it is
but
unfortunately
it is
what it
what it
is.
is. Yeah.
And then The second half rolls on, and on comes Paul Pogba.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't understand that
Paul
choice that he
Pogba.
made.
Paul Pogba. So he loses the ball for the goal. Henderson picks it off
Yeah,
of him, and to like literally make matters worse, plays a beautiful pass that cuts through the defense and sends Salah through on goal to make it 5-0.
yeah, yeah.
And
And nobody's marking
no,
marking him in that goal.
marking is
Yeah,
inconsistent at this point.
yeah,
And then he goes and gets himself sent off. I mean, see, I'm all for Paul Pogba. I think he's a wonderful player.
but
I
but
just
not
don't think
defensive.
him
He's
and
not.
Bruno being in the team make no sense because um there are the amount of workhorses in that team, especially midfield onwards, are very minimal. You're carrying
Yeah,
Ronaldo, you're carrying Bruno because Bruno is so high up the pitch, he sometimes forgets to play as a midfielder. Mason doesn't track back as much. Rashford is not very good defensively. Um, and I haven't, yeah, that's four out of a playing 11 in the back you have Wan-Bissaka, who is like this black hole of possession, with Luke Shaw on the left, who's somehow regressed. Like he looks a quarter of the player he was 2 years ago, a year, or like
yeah, yeah.
6 months ago, not 2 years ago. And there's Harry Maguire and Lindelof, who are both the most inconsistent centre backs I've ever had the pleasure of witnessing. So, and not even to talk about McFred. McFred is their own thing. Maybe a younger Matic would have solved the problem, but Matic is well over the hill. Cannot keep playing these
Yeah,
systems.
he's become too old. He's about what, 40
Yeah,
now, maybe.
40. So
And
yes, and that's the
yeah,
thing. So for me right now is okay, fine. Playing personnel, yes, clearly too many luxury players, too many situations where we can't control games. From a coaching's perspective, and from like what are they being taught? Because you have Kieran McKenna, who is apparently some tactical genius, but I have yet to see
yeah,
what tactical genius he's got. His one saving grace is that he basically gave Mason Greenwood his start and like really polished him into whatever he's now. I wouldn't say he's the final product, but you get what I mean.
he's getting there.
Yeah, and then Michael
Yeah,
Carrick is just what do you call Michael Carrick is I don't know what Carrick does because Carrick is for someone.
yeah. I mean, I have no idea what they do.
He's a regista,
Yeah,
probably the best one um, that England had, and there's zero circulation of play.
yeah.
I'm just like, wow, Mike, if you are what makes, I mean, if you like, you are one of the best midfield players when it came to holding the ball and setting up the play and making those passes. What are you coaching these guys? Like
I
what?
think his idea at this point, I just feel like his ideas or whatever he throws in to the table is getting knocked off by Ode for some reason, and I really want to know what that reason is. Like, why is it happening the way it is happening? I'm still not able to understand what is going wrong in the team.
What's going wrong is that two things. One, there is now a plethora of egos in that squad, and the manager is clearly struggling to manage them. It's very obvious. There are too many strong managers. Initially, he was that calming influence. The thing is, they all like him. They still like him
Yeah,
very
they all
much.
still love him. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
but over the last 2 days, the reports of players being bemused by the tactical prowess of the manager have started to come to the fore. One, everyone was confused as to why he picked the same team that played Atlanta.
Atlanta.
And
Yeah.
on paper, with the defensive solidarity that's supposed to be our strongest team, it did not look like our
But
strongest.
it didn't.
It looks brittle.
They looked, yeah, they
They
looked a bit gassed, from what I
exactly, yeah.
understood, because they've just played
This,
a full 90 against Atlanta midweek. He should have made a few more changes to the team, and I think that would have helped with the squad rotation also, and probably like sub them on towards the end, just to get
Mhm.
that extra little push from the end
Yeah.
at the end.
So I don't know. I think it's time we address the Solskjaer conundrum. Um, Let's talk about it. Akshay, where are you on
Yeah.
it? What is your opinion on Ole at this point?
I don't know. I think, see, I've never been in for all day out
Mm,
because I think it's just too soon to start bashing him for how the players are playing.
mm,
I think he needs a little bit more time. He's had a tough run of fixtures coming up ahead.
mm.
It's probably just a setback that he's had. I think, I don't know, to be honest.
Where are you? I mean, we need to address this also. Tushar and Sid are like would have been on the spot, but
Yeah,
Sid is going to be very occupied for a while, and though just traveling, so he'll probably be back for Thursday's episode. He did mention he would be unable to make the
yeah,
episode today, but he should be back. He's been gone for like 2 weeks. Don't worry, we haven't stopped being friends with him. Has I find that concept to be very strange. Anyway, um, yeah, but anyway, back to this. So, are you current? You have faith in him that he's going to turn this around?
if you know, we've all noticed this, that when his job's sort of on the line, he somehow just kicks back and, like, gives some hope to the players and the team and their fans. We
It's
saw
never
that
been this
against,
bad.
yeah, but it's never been this bad. You're right. But
Also,
we see
I've noticed
we lost to Leicester, and then
mm,
midweek, just a complete
the high.
turnaround of the team.
No, so the one thing I've noticed is that there's a lot of childhood trauma associated with United from opposition fans, and
Mm,
like there are pictures of Fergie just like going on the while
yeah,
watching what's unfolding, and um, and then with and then there are a lot of Liverpool fans saying, "Oh, this is for my childhood. This is for my childhood." I'm just like,
yeah.
wow, this man really hurt you. Like he really hurt you. And
Mm,
and I understand. I get it. I totally understand. How can like you must have like it's skin crawlingly bad for to watch a man who started off at 7 titles when Liverpool were on 18 and then cut that and then
yeah,
surpassed them in a 20 odd year span. So I get the glee, I get the joy, I get all of it. And with regards to Ole,
yeah.
I feel we're at the edge of a cliff right now, rather.
Mm,
So we're at the edge of a cliff, and we're about to walk a very rickety old bridge to the other side.
yeah,
So either you walk that rickety old bridge to the other side with him, or you take the express freeway, which is like 15 minutes away, and just let the old rickety bridge be by itself. Because what's happening right now, what an analogy, by the way. I'm on fire this Monday morning.
yeah,
um
yeah. You're doing really good.
well, beautiful. Anyway, so what I'm trying to say is that I feel so always through his entire tenure I was like, you know what, let's see what happens to this dude. Let's see what happens to this dude. Yes, there is the whole winning situation is a little
Mm,
may not be there, but I feel cultural reboot has happened, and it very
yeah.
much has happened. Like at this point, now he looks like he's drowning. Like for the first time, I'm looked at him and I've
Mm,
thought you are completely out of your depth here. And I said this to you on a few weeks ago. I said if he doesn't pull results out in the next 3 weeks, he's
mm,
gone. And right
yeah.
now, the Glazers are having showdown talks. Everyone is having showdown talks because there hasn't been much news about. At this point, at the point of us recording, he's very much United manager, but that could
But
change.
yeah, we
Zidane and
don't know that.
Rogers, yeah, Zidane and Rogers
Yeah.
have declared themselves out of the job,
Mm,
which leaves only one option
one
available,
person. Yeah.
and I do not want that person, but I can see
Uh,
why people will
I don't
go
think anybody
towards that
wants him.
person.
I don't think any United fan would want that one person.
But it's just Um, yeah, and Shreyas
game.
is like fun stat. United won their last title in 2016. That is the Europa under the special one. I've caveated this a much. So when it comes to talking about titles, and let's just talk about this for a bit.
Sure.
That Mourinho season, all our eggs went into the Europa basket and all. And if you notice the runs, actually, if you can pull this up, the League Cup run and the Europa League run, we faced nobody. And I said this, I said against Celta Vigo, we almost got kicked out. Zlatan sacrificed his ACL to get us through
Yeah.
Anderlecht. Under Mourinho, yes, we saw two titles, and I was with Akshay when we watched the Ajax final and how they didn't have a sniff. How has it changed anything? The next year he got in the Champions League and bombed out to Sevilla and said this is the club's football heritage. Finished 18 points behind City, lost the FA Cup final to Chelsea thanks to Phil Jones and his insistence on playing Phil Jones. And then
Yeah.
he burnt
It's
the
Phil
entire
Jones.
house down. So during Mourinho's time, so the one thing I'll say is at United, I don't hate any of the players. I have no what do you call um,
Vengeance.
bias, yeah, vengeance or anything of the sort. Under Mourinho, I was like, "Oh, that guy's a toxic fucker. Get him out. This person's toxic. Get him out. This person's toxic. Get him out. The match is this. The match is that." And only when he left, I
Because,
realized, "Oh my god, like what was this? The club was in disarray." You remember the physical drop off when Solskjaer came and started playing attacking football, and the last eight games of the season, the team gassed. So one,
yeah,
either
they
the
were
team
out.
weren't, yeah, the team weren't fit. Two, um, everyone hated each other. There were divisions in the dressing room, and the manager was just throwing anyone and everyone under the bus. I remember him bringing on Scott McTominay to make a point in the West Ham game and playing him at centre back. Yeah, McTominay played centre back
He
for
does
Scotland.
play for, yeah,
Yeah,
he plays
but
center
at,
back for.
at that time he was young, unproven, and just completely threw him under the bus. And he does this to make a point. And he's gone and lost 6-1 to a Norwegian team. I think Board or Klimt. I'm not quite sure what they're called. Uh, and it's I mean the
Yeah,
less said about more the better. I feel he is the only reason why the fan base is as toxic as it is today. Because pre Van Gaal, everyone was united. Everyone was like, okay, I understand this man is may not be the point, but with Mourinho, it's just he brings this weird, needly
true.
fan base with him, and that's just it's so difficult. Even you ask Spurs fans. Spurs fans are also like dealing with that shit right now, and
Yeah,
I'm assuming Roma fans are also in the future. Yeah,
it doesn't get a good vibe in the team.
it doesn't, and I don't. So
It,
less
it,
about, but
yeah,
yeah, but anyway, back to
yeah.
Ole. Ole, I think it looks like the end.
It
It
looks difficult. It
feels
looks
it
difficult for him.
it looks
Yeah.
nigh on impossible. Like he has to pull something. He has to go to like the City game. He has to convincingly pulp them, and
Mm.
because United have been conceding only cutback goals. What do you think is going to happen against Man City?
We might actually win that, given his record last season. And
Yeah, but
but
look at our defensive record. Look
but
at
yeah,
the just
but
look at
current forms say otherwise,
you
and
should
that could be very alarming, and that's something that
yes.
has to be addressed ASAP. If not, if otherwise it's gone.
In the comment, guys, why didn't he get Van de Beek in this match at least? Because Solskjaer does not like Van de Beek. He does not like what he does. His idea of football, his footballing philosophy is much more different to Van de Beek. I think Van de Beek at this point knows that he's going to outlast him, so he's just keeping quiet and doing this thing.
Yeah.
It doesn't look good for Solskjaer. I think Spurs. I see him getting a result in the Spurs game. If I'm being completely honest, because Spurs are somehow worse than us.
But that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really bad. So I expect Spurs to shit the bed when it comes to.
Yeah, they probably will.
Hmm.
Yeah, they're not as good as what they were last year for sure.
Yeah.
Kane is looking horrible.
Hmm.
Although he scored the previous weekend, I thought floodgates have opened, but clearly I was wrong.
I don't know. Spurs are another team that are in free fall, and I don't quite see where the light at the end of the tunnel for them is either. Arsenal were convincing against Villa. We're level on points with them now. Wonderful.
Yeah, it's very strange.
Yeah. So and United and us are both 8 points off the top, and them are both 8 points off
Yeah.
the top.
Eight
Chelsea,
or I think 7 points, if I'm not wrong. Eight.
mm,
Eight.
eight.
Yeah. 22.
Chelsea,
Yeah.
yeah. So Chelsea are just look impervious in defense.
Yeah.
Imperious, impervious. What am I saying? Okay, never mind.
And
Uh,
they lost midweek as well in the Conference League,
yeah, they did.
if I'm not wrong. Yeah.
They lost to Vitesse Arnhem, Chelsea's feeder club. So
Yeah.
this,
And they lost like
man,
3-0 or something, right? If I'm not wrong.
they lost. Yeah, they were convincing 2-0, I think.
Oh,
Anyway,
just 1-0. It was a 1-0.
1-0. So I
Yeah.
don't particularly care about Spurs anymore, given what's happening.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I mean, there's things have to be addressed. So one, there has to be fine defensively, like figure your shit out. And in games like this, bring Ronaldo off the bench, dude. Because if you need control of the game for the first 60 minutes at least, and if there are too many luxury players in the squad, just, I don't see him doing it. But I think he needs to like bite the bullet and make these decisions.
Mm.
Drop Mason Greenwood, play Sancho because you're going to get more out of him from a team cohesion perspective. Don't put Ronaldo
Yeah.
and Greenwood on the pitch at the same time until they figure their shit out. It's
Yeah. Let them figure that.
yeah,
Yeah.
because and it's starting to bother them and they're causing issues. So let's not be those. I mean, handle this.
Mm.
That Atlanta game midweek is crucial for him. If he loses that, I think that's where he goes. City, you can excuse the thumping as long as he gets through the group stages in the Champions League. He's not. I
Yeah.
feel nothing is going to happen to him.
Yeah. I
But
think you're right.
hmm,
Just thinking back now, I think
hmm,
midweek game is crucial,
yeah, he
and
has to
how
win the
that result
Atlanta
played
game
out.
because
Yeah.
then he's on 9 points, and then he has a trip to Villarreal after that. And if he pulls a draw out of there, they're through. And
But
because
that game's going to be a bit tricky.
what?
The Villarreal game.
I think yeah. So Atlanta Villarreal is the last game of the group stage,
Hmm.
and then
Yeah,
you have young boys at home.
we play the young boys. Yeah.
And, so we don't know how that's going to go given
Yeah.
this, given the last few games. But here we are, and I guess only time will tell with what happens to Solskjaer. I want him
Yeah.
to succeed. I really do. I was fully invested in the project, but it is becoming increasingly clear. I mean, right now, I mean, if he turns this around, fuck, you have my respect, dude. But in the
Hmm.
meantime, I don't quite see how that's going to happen.
I was just trying to
So,
look at any news or anything, but I don't
mm,
think anything's out yet.
yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
As
But
we speak and record.
yeah. So I guess that's basically the extent of it. And props to Mohamed Salah. I mean, like, how can he scored three very simple goals, but it's a hat trick, and he's now the highest scoring African player in the Premier League. Liverpool are on top
Yeah.
at the moment. They look extremely good, and apparently even
I
for the
think
AFCON,
Chelsea's
um,
on top, no?
I wasn't there like on
In
top
terms
of
of
their game, but okay, Chelsea are on
top of
top.
the game, right? Yeah. Yeah.
But
Yeah, but the
Liverpool look.
AFCON coming up might be
No, they're only
triple a
missing
bit.
two games, if I'm not mistaken. They missed Brentford and they missed Crystal Palace, so which I think are two games they can survive.
But wouldn't they have to quarantine once they're back?
I assume
So
they'll
they
get
should.
special rules because for Premier League footballers.
Let's see. Yeah, let's see.
Okay, I think that should be that. I think this is an extremely, if anything, if there's an update on Solskjaer's future, we'll talk about it if and when it happens. For now, he's
Mm.
very much in the club. I think it's maybe time to call time on it because it's not
No, let's
working.
not. I guess let's
But
not
I
ponder
have not,
over it.
yeah, I haven't shut the door on it
Yeah.
completely. In the meantime, go watch things. Watch a few movies if you're in wherever. I would always recommend checking out films because it's always nice to get away from football, read a book, play a sport, hug a
Play
loved
sports a
one.
good idea.
Yeah, do something
Or
fun.
just go to sleep.
Or even that, just go to sleep. It's always sleep is underrated. Is an underrated commodity these days.
Yeah, totally.
All right, we'll see you on the next one. Take care. Like and
Take
subscribe.
care.
By the way, how can this
Yes.
please? Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
subscribe.
Yeah.
Yeah, subscribe because
Yeah.
it really helps the channel grow, and the channel has been
Happy
growing.
selection, guys.
Yeah.
Just before we sign off, Shreyas wants to say, "Have my selections, guys."
I don't even know what that means.
Yeah, even I don't really know what that means.
Shreyas, bro, let this video go up and leave it in the comments and we'll respond to it. Anyway,
Yeah,
see you.
done. See
Goodbye.
you. Cheers. Good night.
Cheers. Night.